He said, I don't really set goals. I set growth measurements. He was like, so I can sit here and say, my goal is to make $1 million this year, or my goal is to have this many new subscribers on my show, or my goal is to have this XYZ. He was like, but my thing is, what are my growth measurements? If I'm growing, my business will grow, my income will grow, my staff will grow, my influence will grow. But if I'm not growing, everything else is not growing. So now he focuses on
what's happening? No capping. We with AO, about to get a plate bowl. Pull up to the table. Let's go.
So a study of 275,000 people revealed that people with a positive mindset, with a healthy mindset, with a joyful mindset are happier and, to be honest, more successful in all areas of life, including money. That's right. So the bottom line is, you are what you believe. You are what you speak. You are what you say. You are what you are on the inside. See, most people think that if they already have more money, that they would be happier, that they will have more success. But the truth is, that is not true. Success starts in our minds. It doesn't start when we have $1 million. It doesn't start when we're making six figures. It doesn't even start when we pay off all of our debt. It starts long before that. It starts in our minds. That's why in today's show, I'm debunking the top money lies that are keeping us from building wealth, that is keeping us from getting out of debt, that's keeping this generation and this culture from really building true wealth. But before we get started, two quick things. Listen, we're growing fast. I'm extremely excited, extremely happy about what God is doing here at this channel, y'all. Just the beginning of this year, we had 300-something thousand subscribers on YouTube. Man, we're almost at 300, and we're above 360,000. We're almost hitting on 400,000. And man, I'm telling you, this is family, and I want you to be a part. So if you are just watching the show every now and then, make sure to subscribe and make sure to follow us here on the YouTube channel, or follow us on podcasts if you're listening. Hit the subscribe button and come over to IG and follow me at Anthony ONeal. The last thing that I really want to talk about, I'm pulling up my notes here because I want to make sure that I'm saying this thing correct, because you know, in a time to where the marketplace is at an all-time high, as a Black man, I believe that one of the reasons why I love what I do, and I'm teaching getting out of debt, because I believe that I want to help the next generation close the wealth gap. How do we close the wealth gap? It's easy. Number one, we got to eliminate debt. We got to take debt off of the table. And we're talking about that here at the channel. Number two is we have to have ownership. We need to own homes. We need to own businesses. We need to own land. And we're talking about that at the channel as well. But today I have a special partnership that I'm really excited about. My friends over at Churchill Mortgage. Churchill Mortgage is a financial institution that will help you finance and get into your first home, or refinance your home, or get into your next home. They have financed all of my homes over the last 8 years. But in a market that is at an all-time high and is very competitive, because you know, one, prices are high, and then two, cash deals. Cash deals are knocking out people who are financing homes. But Churchill said, you know what? I got something special for our people, my people, you. Yes, they have a Home Buyer's Edge program, and this gives you the best chance to purchase the home of your dreams during challenging times. You're going to get a lightning fast certified pre-approval through Churchill's mortgage app, right? This is not just a computer. This is their manual underwriters looking at your deal saying, you know what? After looking at her income, looking at his job status, you have a certified approval. What I love about Churchill Mortgage, you all say, yo, I got to have a credit score to get a home. No, you don't. Churchill will finance you without a church score, without a FICO score. They will finance you without any open trade lines. No matter where you are in life, they're going to work with you. And I love that about that. You're going to know your real buying power with the home buyer consultation. You're going to compete with cash offers and win in multiple offer situations as a certified home buyer. You're going to have your interest rate locked in for 90 days, so you do not have to rush on that, right? And then here's the sweet part. They're going to sweeten the deal with the $5,000 seller's guarantee, which provides the seller earnest money if the purchase agreement is canceled due to your financing. So not only are you going to, into the market with a certified pre-approval, you're also going into the market saying, hey, you know what? We're so good on our financing that, hey, we're going to give you $5,000 if something happens on my financing end. It's a guaranteed lock with the earnest money. And this is what I love about Churchill. Super fast closing. Because you're already pretty much been through somewhat of manual underwriting up front, on the back end, super fast closing. So listen, go to anthonyoneal.com/Churchill. Their information will be in today's show notes because they're going to help you get into your home. If you're a first-time home buyer, check this out. Yo, they're going to give you some down payment assistance. It's absolutely amazing. Go check them out. But let's get to today's show. What are some money lies that are preventing us from building wealth? And the number one lie as a young man that I really want to address up front. And you know what? I pulled out the iPad today because I really, really want to show this and really show you these numbers. But the number one lie that I hear from young people is, I am young and I've got a lot of time to build wealth. And I think that lie keeps people in a lazy state. It keeps young people in a temporary season that they've made permanent. I believe that God has them in this state just for a temporary season, but young people turn it into a permanent state because they're not willing to be uncomfortable, because they say, I'm young, I got time. Let me go ahead and just keep drinking. Let me go ahead and keep partying. Let me keep smoking this weed. Let me keep doing this. Let me keep doing that. When you're really missing out on an opportunity. Man, here's the truth. COVID made a lot of young people millionaires. This influencer world has really, really, really made 20-year-olds, 18-year-olds multimillionaires. So if you're watching this and you're in your 20s and 30s and you're saying, I got time, listen, man, you're missing out on the best time of your life. But here's when I'm sitting down with these young people, right? And I'm mentoring them. They're making this great money. They're going viral on, I hate it when this happens with my shirt. They're going viral on YouTube. They're making all this money. They're going viral on TikTok. They're getting these huge brand deals. Here's one thing I've learned with them. They're not investing. They're going out here and you're buying these cars and you're buying these big old apartment complexes. You're sitting here, you're buying the most luxury apartment complex. Some of them are actually buying homes, but they're not actually investing. And here's the truth. The best time to start investing and building wealth was yesterday. It's not tomorrow, okay? When's the second best time? Now, today. Because compound interest works best over time, okay? Over time. And so, CJ, throw me on the iPad. So I want to give y'all two examples, right? Two examples. If you have Keisha, right? And this is my cousin, my favorite cousin, right? And then let's say you have Justin over here, right? Both of them are 21. Okay? Both of them are 21. All right. And let's say Keisha, right, invested $2,400 for 9 years. Just $2,400. All right. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. So let's say she invested $2,400 for all 9 years. All right. So that means, let me pull out my calculator because I want to make sure I have my money right with y'all, because I want y'all saying Anthony don't know he the money guy. So this means by year 9, she invested $21,600. All right. Okay. So she invested $2,400 for 9 years. That's $21,600. That's $21,600. Then she stopped, right? Okay. And then let's just say this. At the age 30, Keisha put in $0. That means she stopped, but her money didn't. All right. So she invested 21,000, but she stopped investing when she turned 30 years old. Okay. Now Justin at 30, okay, went on to invest $2,400. Okay. I'm just gonna put year one, but this is 30 years old. Okay. He invested the same amount of money that she did. $2,400, right? He did this all the way until 67. All right. So at 67 years old, Justin's portfolio is at $1.4 million. All right. At 67, Justin has $1.4 million. This is 38 years. Right on the iPad is just so funny. This is 38 years of investing. All right. But let me ask you this question. He invested for 38 years at the age 30. He's at 1.4 million. Let's go back up top. Keisha only invested $21,600 for 9 years, and then she stopped. But she never took the money out of her investment portfolio. How much money do you think she has at 67? At 67 years old, retirement age, my favorite cousin has $2.5 million, and she only invested $21,000. This is the power of compound interest. This is the power of investing into your 401ks, your Roth 401ks, or your traditional 401ks, your Roth IRAs or traditional IRAs. This is the power of putting your money into the stock market and letting it sit and continuing to invest into it. She invested for 9 years and didn't do nothing. Who would you rather be? Keisha, my favorite cousin, or Justin? Let me tell you right now, I wouldn't be upset at being at either one of them. Having $1.4 million or $2.5 million, yeah, I would prefer to have the $2.5 million. I really would. But having 1.4 at retirement age right now is way better than retiring about $150,000. Listen, the caliber, young people, pay attention to me. And anyone watching this, and you have friends who are in their 20s, and you see them making good money, you see them winning, send this video to them. Send it to them because they need to see this right here. The caliber of our future will be determined by the choices we make today. You know, I get on you all about the Gucci purses, the Louis Vuitton bags, the name brand stuff, and I get on you because it's not that I don't want us to have them. I have them. Heck, I just bought my mama $3,000 Louis Vuitton purse for her 58th birthday. The reason why I get on you all, especially while you're young, is because I want you to maximize this season, eliminate your debt, get a fully funded emergency fund, start investing so you can start setting yourself up to win like this. I want you to have the Gucci. I want you to have the Louis. I want you to have all this great stuff. I really and genuinely do. But what I don't want you to do is have $5,000, $10,000 in luxury brands and you don't even have $1,000 in your bank account. I don't want you driving a $50,000 car and you don't even have $5,000 sitting in your emergency fund. But when you have the basic stuff going, man, by all means, I don't care what you do. Go buy the Bugatti. Go buy the Prada. Go buy the Louis. I don't care because you have the foundation. And young people, there is so much opportunity for you right now. I was with my mom and my producer, CJ, and my mom said something the other day when we was all up there eating. I forgot what we were talking about. It was something about was something about now they got these night shift nannies where they come in and they, while the mom and dad sleep, that night shift nanny is there for, the newborn baby to feed the newborn. If the mother is not breastfeeding, she could feed him with the bottle from a breastfed milk, right? And my mom was like, man, we didn't have that at our season. My mom was like, we didn't have internet. We didn't have Instagram, Facebook. We didn't even have AOL growing up. We didn't have no cell phones. We didn't have access to all this information and knowledge and wisdom that you all are getting online. We didn't have that. And my mom was like, man, I wish if we had all this information, I will be a multimillionaire today. And she's like, I don't understand why there are so many excuses with young people with all this information at their fingertips. You can go on TikTok, create a TikTok, do what you're passionate about, build you a tribe, and then within a matter of 6 months to a year, you can be making an extra $2,000, $3,000 from your TikTok off of brand deals. I mean, I'll be honest with you all and be very transparent. Man, I do very well from my show. I do 7 figures just from this show a year. So there are no excuses, really. If you really want to be successful in your young age, there are no excuses to really be successful, but you got to be willing to tap in. And then once you start making this money, what are you doing with the money? You see, it's not about just what and how much money you're making. It's about what are you doing with the finances when you get it. And the number one lie that I hear with young people and with a lot of people, even people in their 40s, girl, I'm young, I got time. I'm not retiring anytime soon, I got time. No, now is the best time to invest. Now is the best time to think about your future. Now is the best time to really make sure that you're taking advantage of this season. So, if you're watching this and you are already out of debt, you got a fully funded emergency fund. You all know me. I rock with Ramsey's Baby Steps. That I would suggest that you get with a financial advisor and you start looking into investing. I teach invest 15% of your gross income. And it's very simple. I did a whole video on investing. I'll make sure to link that in today's show notes so you can have that information to really learn more on how to invest properly. But I would highly suggest that you sit down with a financial advisor and say, hey, I've been listening to AO. He says I should invest 15% of my income. I have no debt. I got a fully funded emergency fund. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Because, man, you could win, and we're going to win. We are going to win. And let me say this thing around this point number 1, because I really want to make sure that you all hear my heart on this one. While you're young, another key thing when it comes to building wealth is it's not just about the money, right? Let me say this. While you're young, let me make sure this is not in my notes because I don't want to repeat myself again. Yeah, I'm not gonna repeat myself. All right, bet. I just want to make sure because I do notes now on my show to make sure that I'm on track and I'm teaching and I'm not just a preacher just doing all this exhorting and not really teaching anything. But while you're young, and when I say young, I mean in your 20s and your 30s, really, right? And if you're older, if you agree with what I'm about to say, drop it in the comments and be like, yo, I agree with you, AO. I agree with you. While you're young, not only should you be focused on investing and building wealth, but while you're young, you should be focusing on building your mind. I think young people oftentimes feel as if, I don't have to get out here and do all this reading and do all this growing. And man, if I could go back into my 20s and do more reading and grow my business, my number one asset, which is my mind. My mind is my business. Oh my gosh, I will be so much further along in today's journey. I will be at 1 million subscribers on YouTube. I'll be at 1 million downloads on my podcast. I will be so far along in my journey. But I didn't take the opportunity. I chased the money, but I didn't chase growth. And one of the things I'm switching this year around, and I'm going to do a teaching on this. I had the opportunity to sit with John Maxwell, my best friend, Stephen Chandler, Pastor Stephen Chandler here in the DMV area, the senior pastor of Union Church, had John Maxwell in to speak at our conference, and he had a private dinner. And John Maxwell said something that was so good to me. He said, I don't have goals, I have growth. So what do you mean? He said, I don't really set goals. I set growth measurements. He was like, so I can sit here and say, my goal is to make $1 million this year, or my goal is to have this many new subscribers on my show, or my goal is to have this XYZ. He was like, but my thing is, what are my growth measurements? If I'm growing, my business will grow, my income will grow, my staff will grow, my influence will grow. But if I'm not growing, everything else is not growing. So now he focuses on, I want to grow spiritually, mentally, financially. So he sets his own growth standards for himself and for his company. And I want to challenge you while you're young. Figure out a way of what are your growth measurements? How are you growing? Where are you going? Because if you can get some growth measurements today at 25, today at 30, today at 35, can you imagine where you will be at next year? If you say, yo, I want to read a book. Yo, I want to do this. As a matter of fact, CJ, I'm going all over. Can you hand me that book? That's right there it's on the floor. I told you all the book of the month earlier this month, but my book of the month is brought to you by Short Form, right? Short Form is a great, thanks, man. It is a great platform that helps you read large books very quickly and get the gold nuggets, get the jewels from the book, get the meat from the book very quick. But at the beginning of this month, I told you all that I was reading this book, and it is an amazing book that I've read. It's called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry: How to Stay Emotionally Healthy and Spiritually Alive in Today's Modern World. This is by John Mark Comer. My friend Travis Green gave this to me. He gave me this book recommendation. Mike Todd gave Travis Green this book recommendation. And I'm gonna tell you right now, man, this is how you grow. By reading, by putting stuff into your mind. And so I'm going to link this book in today's show notes. Short Form will be in today's show notes too. It's a big book. It's about 300 pages long, but it blessed my life. But if you really want to be wealthy, if you really, really, really want to go somewhere and do something with your life, don't just focus on wealth. Don't just say, I'm too young to grow wealth. I'm young and I have enough time to grow. No, attack it now. Attack it right now. Boy, that wasn't in the notes today. That was not in the notes today. But I felt led to say that. Because what I don't want to do is force people to only think about money, but don't think about how they can grow. They're not thinking about, what can we do to grow our minds? Because if we grow our minds, we talk differently. If we grow our minds, we walk differently. We grow our minds, we think differently. When we think differently, talk differently, and act differently, and walk differently, so will our money. So will our life. So will our love languages. So will how we treat people. And in today's world, man, I'm telling you, the elimination of hurry was a huge book for me, because I was telling my friend, I think y'all saw the show earlier, and I'm going all off script. I'm gonna get back on it, but I feel led to do it. I was telling my friend earlier this month, Ronnie, I was like, man, I have so many people in this money space that, everyone says, man, Anthony, your number one competitor is Earn Your Leisure. And I'm like, man, they're not my competitor, Like, I love those guys. I'm rooting for those guys. Those guys are generals in this space. And they say, oh, but you should be doing this. You should be doing that. Oh, you should be interviewing them too. And I'm like, man, you know what? And then it started getting in my head like, yo, Anthony, you need to hurry up because you should be doing this. You should be doing that. You should be doing this. You should be doing that. And you know what, man? When I started doing that, I started being all over the place. But it was when I eliminated the thought of competition and added the thought of gratefulness and support and love to my life for my brothers and for everyone in this whole influential money and lifestyle space. When I eliminated the hurry up and get this and grow like this, man, that's when I started growing. When I started being content and maximizing where I'm at and stewarding where I am at good, that's when I started growing more. That's when my money started growing more. That's when my team started growing more. Because I sit here and I say, you know what? It's cool. I'm young. But I'm going to maximize this season. I'm going to celebrate and support everyone that's in my current, space as in what I do. I'm just going to be me. I'm just going to be AO. And I love it. So get this book. Check out short form. Go to anthonyoneal.com/short form. This is a thick book, but you can get the short form version of this book and read that in one day. And you will thank me later for all the jewels that was in this book. Remember, every single month, we are reading a book. And at the beginning of every single month, I'm introducing new books to our tribe. That is the book of the month, and that is brought to us by short form. Here's number two. Here's the lie number two. The desire to be rich is bad because it seems like you're greedy and you love money. You know, I get this oftentimes because everyone says, man, you shouldn't be chasing money. God is all we need. You know what I'm saying? Why do you want all this? Because do you know what you can do with all the money? You can feed the homeless. Money is not evil. It is the love, and I would say the lust of money. You know, money is immoral. Did I say that right, CJ? Immoral? Amoral, immoral. Yeah, you know, it's not good or bad. It's money. Now, when you're saying, oh, I love money, and you're willing to screw over your friend, you're willing to steal from someone, kill someone, you're willing to do immoral things and bad things, yo, that's when money now becomes a problem. People say the love of money is the root of all evil, but the Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil. The love of money. I'm gonna say it one more time. It's the love. When you love it more than you love people. When you love it more than you love your own spouse. When you love it more than treating people the right way. That is the root of all evil. Let me be real with you, man. Can I be real with y'all? Having good money, having money in a savings account, I wake up and I'm at peace. They say money don't make you happy. Money make me happy. When I can go do what I want to do, I'm happy. If I didn't have money, I couldn't do this. If I didn't have money, I wouldn't have this studio. If I didn't have money, I wouldn't have a team here that's helping me produce quality shows to help you with your growth measurements that's going to help you reach your goals. If I didn't have money, I wouldn't have a house that I could really wake up in and just be peaceful in. If I didn't have money, I couldn't take vacations. And if I didn't have money, I couldn't be a financial blessing to others. If I didn't have money, I couldn't have bought my mom a Louis Vuitton purse for her 58th birthday when my mom has never had a high-end name brand purse her entire life because she sacrificed the majority of her life for her family, for her husband, for her 3 kids, for her mother who passed away a few years ago, for her family. If I didn't have money, I couldn't send, I would not have been able to send my mom and dad on their honeymoon. You know why? Because they didn't have a wedding. They never got, they got married, but they didn't have a wedding. They didn't have a honeymoon. They got married south of the border of South Carolina, North Carolina, in some little amusement park. That's what it's called, the south of the border. Went there, eloped, boom, came back, picked me up, drove to California, and we living in a small 1-bedroom loft. It wasn't even a bedroom. It was like 482 square feet, they said. And I said, you know what? For their 20th year anniversary, I sent them. Actually, not me. Me and my siblings sent them on a vacation to Mexico, and we called it their honeymoon 20 years later. But if I didn't have money, I would not have been able to be a blessing. Every year, I put $15,000 into putting up homeless people during Christmas time. I don't give my family gifts. Because I remember being homeless, because I remember sleeping in the back of my car. For the very short season, there are people out there who's been homeless for years. And I said, you know what? I want to be a blessing. I want to put people up in the hotel room. If I didn't have money, I couldn't be a blessing. I couldn't care for my families. I couldn't build a business and hire Black people. Yeah, I said it. There's so many entrepreneurs and they employ themselves, but they don't employ families. And for me as a minority, it was very important for me to build a business, that employs other minorities. And not just because they're Black, not just because they're Mexicans, not just because they're Asians, not just because they're minorities, because these are high quality minorities and they're helping me build something that's impactful. I told everyone who works with me, oh, listen, as I'm winning, you're gonna go up financially too. When the business kicked off, I reached out to my producer, CJ. He's been rocking with me for years. I said, yo, bro, let's talk about 6 figures. What can we do with you if with the company paying you 6 figures? Because my thing is, money is not just for me. I want to be a good steward with my money. And I want more money. I want more. You know why I want more? One, so I can give back more. I can be generous with the money. I can give to my local church here at Union Church. And as they're building their new church and as they're impacting this community, I'm giving to them. 2, I can employ more African Americans, more minorities to really help us take this message to a whole nother level. And 3, I can live out my dreams. My family can do what we want to do, when we want to do it, and how we want to do it. I was telling my friend Rob Hill Sr., I said, man, I'm not chasing $100 million a year. I don't need that. You know, if God gives me $100 million, cool. He was like, Anthony, what's your number? I said, man, give me a good 5 to 10, I'm straight. You know what I'm saying? Give me a good $5 to $10 million a year, I'm straight. Why you want 5 to 10 million? I said, man, because if I'm making 5 to 10 million, that means everybody, if the company, because it's not Anthony, if the company is making good $5 to $10 million a year, that means everybody on my team, for the most part, is making 6 figures plus. My producer, my right-hand man, CJ, is making at least $500,000. And my family and I, we making 7+ figures. And I think that's all I need, man, because I don't have any debt. My family won't have any debt. I'm going to invest wisely. Terry was on the show earlier today, and that's one of my growth measurements. And she said, hey, I put $16 million into an investment account. That right there produces $1 million for my company. So no matter what, for the rest of our lives, we're good. Like, Those are growth measurements. That's where I want to get to. If God says, here, listen, Anthony, I'm going to give you 100 million. Thank you, Lord. But if he says, Anthony, your measurement is at $5 to $10 million, I'm cool. You know why? Because I got peace. I can do everything I want. Y'all say, Anthony, why is this so important to you? Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why the desire to be wealthy is not bad. Because growing up, I remember having shoes that my parents will buy us one pair of shoes for school, not different colors, one pair of shoes to play outside in, and one pair of shoes for church. One. That's it. So we grew up with like 3 pair of shoes. And sometimes those pair of shoes, especially my outside pair of shoes where I would play basketball and just go ride my bike and just play around with, man, those shoes wore off pretty quickly. You know why? Because we got them from Payless. And so oftentimes I would literally have to put tape on at the bottom of my shoes. I remember when I turned 14 years old back in San Diego County in California, my mom said, hey, go get your work permit and go get a job. And I remember going to get a job so I can go buy just shoes, so I can go buy things that I could wear so I can really, honestly fit in with the rest of the school. I remember when it was raining one day, I literally had to push my socks back up into my shoes. I had to ask my teacher for tape. And my teacher said, why do you need tape? I lied to her. I said, hey, I need to tape my notebook back together. And she was like, okay. She gave me the tape and I snuck around. I put it on my shoes because it was raining that day. And I was tired of walking around with wet socks. And I'm not knocking my parents. My mom and dad was doing the very best they could. Man, I got something in my eye. They were doing the very best that they could. And I love my mom and my dad because they gave us the very best life that they could give us. And honestly, when I look at me and my siblings, man, we are the fruit of their hard labor. All 3 of my siblings are doing very well. You got my little sister who's married to a huge YouTube star and she's becoming a huge individual herself. My sister is probably the smartest one out of all of us, educated, masters and all that, My brother is probably the most in-depth guy. Like this man knows the word, this man knows the Bible, and he can rap and sing his behind off. And then clearly you got me. But all that started from my mom and my dad. We didn't have, the nice cars growing up. We didn't have really a nice car growing up. We didn't have, the big bedrooms. None of us grew up with our own bedrooms growing up. We had to share a room. All 3 of us had to share a room because my grandmama was living with us. My mom was working 3 jobs just to make sure her kids, me and my siblings, had a decent Christmas. So why do I want wealth? Well, why do I believe desiring wealth is not bad? Because it starts with my intentions. My intentions is not to be greedy. My intentions is to be a blessing and to provide a comfortable lifestyle and to leave an inheritance for my children's children. Now, yes, while doing all of that, will I have the nice cars? Will I have the Bentleys? Will I have the nice things? Absolutely. But when you look at my heart and the intentions of my heart, I'm a blessing. My team would tell you, man, I don't shortcut nobody. I'm taking off the whole month of July. 2 of them asked me, well, are we still getting paid? I was like, absolutely. Because we're still going to do the work. We're just not going to do the work in July. They was like, yo, for real? I was like, yeah. God is blessing me. I want to bless others. So the desire to be wealthy is not bad, okay? Because money can be used to bless so many different things and so many different people. And why not be a blessing to your family? Why not be a blessing to others? Just make sure that the intentions with your heart are pure. That's it. Be pure. Here's lie number 3 that I really want to talk about because it frustrates the heck out of me. The debt lie, that you will always have debt. Yo, when I hear this, I get so upset. I really do, okay? I really, really, really do because I think a lot of people mentally just need help. Like, they just need help. Like, oh my gosh, I'm always going to be in debt. I'm always going to be, always going to be hated on. I'm always going to have this. I'm always going to have haters. I'm always going to be this way. No, you guys, listen. Let me say this real quick. Debt companies want you to think this because it makes them wealthy, not you. Being in debt is somebody else's freedom. Being in debt is somebody else's legacy builder. Being in debt, you being in bondage, is somebody else's freedom for their kids. So companies, credit card companies, some financial institutions, they want you to feel like it's okay. Because your penalty that you're paying for financing that loan, for financing that car, for taking out on that credit card, your penalty is somebody else's reward. I want that, let that sink in. Interest paid out is a penalty. Interest paid in is a reward. So when you pay back your penalty, you're giving somebody else a reward. And that person is saying, it's okay. Hey, take your time. You're always going to be in debt. There's nothing wrong with that. Just make the minimum payment on time so you can go ahead and keep your credit score up. But thank you. Somebody else's kids is telling your kids, thank you. Tell your daddy, thank you. Because he's paying my daddy. He's paying my mama rewards. He's paying my mama interest. And he's taking away money from you. Ooh. Hey. Here's the truth, you guys. As I am growing and as I am evolving, I am learning to kind of change my language a little bit, right? Because here's the truth, and here is the fact. That about 10% of America, maybe 5 to 10% of America can actually have a credit card and never pay interest. But the majority of us watching right now can't do it. And here's the truth. You don't need a car payment, okay? You don't, if you have to finance it, let me say it one more time. If you have to finance it, you do not need it. If you cannot afford to pay the bill today, then you can't afford that particular item. You can't do it. Okay? Pay cash for the car. If you have $10,000 sitting in your account, just go buy your $10,000 car cash. If your car is tripping a little bit, instead of you going to buy a brand new car, maybe go have a good mechanic look at it and see like, hey, can we fix it? Now listen, I'm a car guy, so what I'm really making sure that I do is be real. Okay, I trade in my cars maybe every year and a half to 3 years max. Like, I'm not keeping a car past 2.5, 3 years. I'm not. But I'll be real with you. I just got to that season like over the last 3-4 years. I wasn't doing that when y'all first met me on this journey. I wasn't doing that in my young 30s. No, I was not doing that. I drove my Acura TL until I bought my BMW 7 Series, right? And man, I was not, and I don't have a BMW 7 Series. I've stepped up tremendously. But that is my thing. I told myself when I get out of debt, when I start investing in the right places, when I get my savings account, and I stretched myself with my emergency fund. My emergency fund is up there. Okay, I stretched myself past the 3 to 6 months. I want to have 6 figures in my savings account personally because of my lifestyle, right? And when I got there, I said, okay, cool, great. I spend money on cars. If you come to me, my team will tell you, Anthony doesn't spend a lot of money on dates. He's not going to spend a lot of money on restaurants. That's just not him. I don't really vacations. I really don't do a lot on vacations. I'm going to a very nice spot for my vacation, but use my money is going to be in my car and in my house. That's where my money is. I don't wear a lot of stuff on clothes. My team is like, yo, Anthony, you got to start, stepping your wardrobe for your shows. I want to be comfortable when I'm on my show, right? And so I want to make sure I'm clear. I am not saying don't buy the nice things, but here's what I am saying. Pay cash for the nice things once you get to a nice level, okay? You can still buy a house, you can still run a business and do anything else without racking up debt. You do not have to have a credit score to purchase to purchase a home. I talked to you about Churchill Mortgage. You don't have to have a credit score to get into your dream home. Churchill Mortgage is the best financial institution in the world, by my personal opinion, because they're quick. They give you a certified pre-approval, and I mean, they educate you along the journey. So again, check them out because you don't need a credit score. You don't have to have any open trade lines. And they're still going to give you the same interest rate just as someone who may have a high credit score. Their thing is, do you have time on the job? Do you have money in the bank? And if you don't have no negative trade items, man, you're going to get a very great, very competitive credit score. Now, if you do have some negative items, yeah, you're going to get your interest rate based upon that. But here's something that I think a lot of people don't understand. And I want to say this too. I want to say this up front. Listen, when you get a house, like even for me, I got to start reminding myself to stop saying I do not have a credit score. I started this journey without having a credit score. But as soon as I got a house and I financed it, I have a credit score. And I'm gonna be honest with you all, my credit score is at 800 because the only thing on my credit report is my mortgage, right? My mortgage and the other things that I paid off years ago. And so for right now, when I go back to Churchill Mortgage, they are pulling up a credit score, but that's it. They're only seeing my mortgage, no other open trade lines. And so I would encourage you to check out Churchill, check them out. But you can buy a house, you can rent, you can do things without having an actual credit score. All right. One of the things that I'm noticing when it comes to, really building wealth and like lies, right? Debunking some of the lies. Some of these lies are mental. Some of these lies are from past drama, from things that people grew up seeing. And I remember growing up watching my mom and my dad struggle sometimes. I remember seeing my mom cry because she was looking at the bills. And mentally I said, man, this is life. This is normal. So I grew up with this in my head. And then thankfully God exposed me to something different. And when he exposed me to something different, I still was challenged by it. I still didn't trust it because of what I saw mentally and because of the things that I've been through. And then one day I remember after walking away from my ex-fiance, my mentor told me, man, you need to see a therapist because you experienced so much when you were young and it's not a bad thing, but you need to actually walk through those things with someone, figure out what needs to stay and what needs to go because stuff from the past, the stress, the drama, the things you physically seen that you interpret a certain kind of way is still in you and it's impacting your friendships, your relationships, your business relationships, your home, your family. But it starts with you. And when it comes to maximizing the year 2022, I want to encourage you to seek therapy, to seek someone who will be willing to walk with you along your journey, to help you understand why you're thinking the way that you're thinking. Every wealthy person that I have seen, this is one lie that they said is a lie. They said that therapy is not for people who are sick. That is a lie. Therapy is for people who want to remain healthy and become healthier and build true wealth. Every wealthy person, every millionaire that I have personally sat down with, They actually see their therapist once a week. They have the therapist on speed dial. They text them, they call them, they walk through things with them. Because they're like, yo, I want to stay maintenance because I understand my mind is the greatest asset that I have. And when I do this, when I mess up here, I'm not healthy out there. And I'm gonna put myself out there. Anytime I broke up with the girlfriend, I couldn't sleep for a week. Anytime I got into an argument or something went wrong, I didn't know how to channel certain things, and I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat, I wouldn't work out, I wouldn't go out, I would just be at home depressed and miserable. And that's not okay. Now that I've been going through therapy and when certain things don't work out, man, I'm cool. I'm cool because you know why? I've been able to walk through some things with my therapist at BetterHelp. And they've helped me to understand how to respond to certain things, how to receive certain things, and how to transcribe certain things internally. So if you really want to be wealthy, if you really want to be healthy and wealthy and keep this fine-tuned, I want you to go to anthonyoneal.com/BetterHelp. That is anthonyoneal.com/BetterHelp. And they are going to give you a huge discount off of your first month with them. And I would say start off once a month. I go 2 times a month and I text them from my phone. Hey, can we do this certain time? Boom, they love it. What I love about them is, let's say if you're a minority and you want a minority woman to be your therapist, you can do that. Let's say if you want to talk about, I'm gonna go here too. Let's say, oh, I love this. This is so dope. I can't wait to get married. Let's say you want a therapist for you and your spouse's sexual intimacy to make that better. You can go to BetterHelp and get that. What? Say what? Let's say you're single and you just want to get your mind ready for dating again. You can do that. Let's say you're going through some drama. You can do that. You can find a therapist for whatever you want over at BetterHelp. So go to anthonyoneal.com/BetterHelp. Here's number 4. Here's the number 4 lie. Number 4 lie. I'll never get out of debt, so what's another charge on my credit card? Heck no. You can. And if you rock it with me, you will get out of debt. Millions have done it. And millions will do it. Millions have, millions will continue to. Okay? You got to cut your expenses, get a side hustle, and make a freaking budget every single month. Remember, you speak what you seek until you see what you spoke. Speak what you seek until you see what you spoke. Don't sabotage yourself. Don't tell yourself, oh my God, I'm always going to be in debt. I'm always going to be broke. Shut up. I'm starting to be slapping on podcasts. No. Keep your mouth filled with positive affirmations. Keep your mouth filled with joy, with gratefulness. Speak what you seek. I will get out of debt. I will be wealthy. I will be healthy. My kids will be healthy. My wife will be healthy. My husband will be healthy. My mom, my dad, my family, my siblings, my cousins. Speak what you seek. Because you got to adjust your mindset to think positive, not negative. And if you're having a problem with adjusting your mindset, if you're always blaming someone else, if you're always saying, he did this, she did this, listen, I'm going to respectfully call you out. You better go see BetterHelp. You need to go see a therapist. You need to go there and tell them the truth. I'm jealous of people. I don't have a healthy mind. My friends don't even like being around me sometimes. Heck, I don't like me sometimes. And can I be real with you? There were days in the past I did not like me because I knew there were some things wrong internally. And after seeing BetterHelp, they helped me to shift my mindset. They coached me on why I was thinking the way I was thinking and acting the way I was acting. And because of that, I shifted. And because of that, I've made more money. Because of that, I've been able to keep some solid team members around me because I am continuing to evolve and grow. You will get out of debt. You will become wealthy. Your children will be wealthy because of the decision you made today. But like I said in the very beginning, it doesn't start when you are out of debt. It doesn't start when you build wealth. It starts when you get this healthier, when you get your mind healthier. Go to BetterHelp and allow them to help you with that process. Here's number 5. Here's a lie number 5. I can borrow from my future and pay it back later. Listen, borrowing from your retirement is like stealing from yourself. It doesn't make any sense at all. Let compound interest work in your favor. Okay. If you pause contributing to retirement to pay off debt or have a baby, make sure you start back ASAP. Okay. Don't rob from your future. You don't need to go to your 401k to go take this trip to Mexico. You don't need to take out money from your IRA to go purchase this car. No, don't do that. Save. But let's just say you're having a baby and you're going hard with your investing right now. Yo, pause on it. Let's say if you are paying off some debt, you just joined this journey. You just joined Dave Ramsey's journey over there at Ramsey Solutions. Cool, great. Pause. Don't take money out. Just pause. Okay? Just pause. Here's lie number 6. If I ignore the bill collectors, they'll go away. No, they're not. And honestly, I used to be a bill collector. We don't go away. Okay? We're actually going to find you. Please believe. There's a thing called skip tracing when it comes to bill collectors and collections. And skip tracing is we go onto the web. We go onto the dark web and we find your address. We look up the address next to you on your right and on your left. And we get your neighbor's number. And we call your neighbors. Hey, we're trying to reach such and such. Do they still live there? No, they don't live there anymore. They were going. Or do you know where they work at? We're trying to there are some things that bill collectors and collection agencies do that it's not good. It's not healthy. Trust me. I used to be in the game. And man, we used to call neighbors and say, hey, we're going to have to keep calling you every day because they put you down as a neighbor. And so they gave us permission to call. We'll call your job, but we'll call your mom's job, your family's job. We'll call your spouse's job. They do not go away. And here's the thing, let me teach you a little secret. What we used to do at the collection agency. Everyone believes well, just ignore it for 7 years and it'll fall off your credit report. But let me teach you this when it comes to that. Bill collectors are so smart. They'll get it. So they'll buy your debt on pennies on the dollar. Try to collect the full penny. So here's one tip. If you got a bill collector calling you, it's a collection agency, not the actual company who you actually owe, but it's a collection agency. I would say don't give them no more than 60 cents on the dollar unless you got all the money when it paid on full. I've negotiated stuff all the way from anywhere between 35 cents on the dollar all the way up to about 100% on the dollar. It all depends. But if you're wise, you're going to negotiate some money with the collection agency and you're going to negotiate a paid in full payoff on your credit report because you can't do that. That's number 1. Number 2, when you think that 7 years is about to hit, it more than likely it's not going to hit. Because what's going to happen is, keep this in mind, it's 7 years from the last reported incident on that account on your credit report. So if I called you, you didn't pick up, then what I can do is I can sell that account to another collection agency. That collection agency puts it on your credit report. That restarts the 7 years. So if collection agency A sells to collection agency B on the 6th year, let's say 364th day, they get that and they post it on the 300th day, for an example, you just restarted your whole 7 years. Not all collection agencies do that, but a lot of them are doing that. And so my thing is, don't avoid it. Just get in there and negotiate. Get in there and stick to your guns. Call them on the last week of the month. Collection agencies negotiate the last week is the best week. The last 2 days, you got to be prepared to cut a check that day to get the best deal. But the first 2 weeks of the month, nah, man, they're going hard. No, we can't do that, ma'am. I'm sorry. We can't do that, sir. I'm sorry. But the last week, oh yeah. Yo, such and such, I could do this 40 cents on the dollar. Like whatever they offer you, split it in half. If they say we can take 50% off, so I'll give you 25%. They won't accept 25% because they just can't. But, they may come down to 40. Stick to your guns. And the best deal, just like car dealers, just like salesmen, it's always going to be the last week. You get the best deal. But if you really come to the table and you're ready to cut a check that day, the last 2 business days are the best days to get the very best deal. Okay? So don't ignore it. Just go in there with the game plan and just understand you're going to pay on it, but just pay less if you can. Okay? Here's the last thing. Lie number 7. My friends make less than me and they get to go on vacation, so why not me? You don't know everyone's situation. Let's be real. It might look like they're having fun, but you don't know if they're drowning in debt. You don't know if they're going home to lights off. You don't know if they're going home and they're crying because they don't have any money. You can still go on vacations and go out and have fun, but be financially responsible while you're doing it. Focus on you and don't worry about everyone else is doing. One of the things that I would definitely tell you, I remember preaching the gospel, going home and saving and leading young people to Christ. And I remember this one time, went to a huge, huge conference. Won't say the name of the conference, but it was huge. Went to the conference, spoke. Thousands of young people in the building. I think close to 400 people got saved that night. I went home to my lights being off. I went home after teaching a powerful word, after seeing young people give their life to Christ. I went home and I cried because I didn't have no AC. I didn't even have heat. I didn't have nothing, no lights, no food. You know why? Because I was trying to impress people and live above my means. You don't know what that individual is really going through internally. You don't know if they really have joy and peace on the inside, but they look like they have it on the outside. That is one of the reasons why 2 times a year I unplug from social media so I can keep my comparison to the minimum because I'm human. I'm human. But at least I know through therapy what I need to do to make sure that I do not do those kind of comparison games. So if you're having a problem with comparison, I'm going to suggest you get off of social media for 2 weeks, at least a year. I do mine 2 weeks in July, 2 weeks in December. I get off because I really want to make sure that I'm keeping this fine-tuned. So the best way to overcome lies is with truth. If you believed any of these lies, you want to replace them with the truth. I have the discipline to make hard financial choices now to enjoy an easier life later. Number 2, more money in my bank account doesn't make me a bad person. It makes me a wiser person. My debt does not and will not control me. Number 4, I can and I will be debt free. Number 5, my future is bright and I will not steal from it. Number 6, I can face my problems and I will win. Lastly, but definitely not least, number 7, I am focused on my financial journey. Here's today's scripture. John chapter 8, verses 32. And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. As we close, remember that God is with you and God wants to see you win. I'm super excited about y'all's growth. I'm super excited about our growth. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure that you rewatch this video again and let's debunk some of these lies that are out there about building wealth and let's start speaking truth, not only just over our life, but our family and our loved ones' lives. It's your boy, Anthony ONeal. Thank you so much.